Godwin into his hands, and guess which dogs are barking first? Uga, get after it.
Chubb scored a touchdown earlier on a direct snap. Now it's Michelle's turn, running all the way. Gets to the edge. Sonny Michel will send the Dogs home to the championship game.
And Bobo throws that thing in the end zone, and
yes! Touchdown! Touchdown in the goal line!
Cambiando estaba Billingsley. ¡Interceptado! Y a ver hasta dónde lo puede devolver. Es Kelly Ringo. Sigue Ringo. Corta adentro. Ringo. Touchdown! Georgia!
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Robert Iron E. Singleton, a.k.a. D-Dog from The Walking Dead, or Alton from The Blind Side. Also the former DB turned running back for the University of Georgia. And you are watching Respect the Hedges on the Fan Addict Sports Network. All right, guys, go Dogs. Sick 'em.
What up? We back in here for another episode of Respect the Hedges on the Fan Addict Sports Network. As always, brought to you by the Tailgate Kings. That's right, people. We are back for another episode. We are 12-0, Dog Nation. 12-0 for the second time in a row under Kirby Smart. Hasn't been done since 08, 09. That's right. Looking ahead to the SEC championship game. We're going to go and bring the fellas in here and get started. We're going to take a different approach. I'm going to bring my man JV in first. What's going on, JV?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Another great day to be a dog. Another great week to get some things done. Reflecting back on a great season. Natty or bust, baby. We started out the season talking about it 2 years in a row, and this is where we at. We can't ask for nothing more. Let's talk about these dogs, and let's talk about our future. Another natty is in the horizon. Let's get it.
That's right. And before we move on, JV, tell the people about MegaGate 2022.
Listen here, man. 5th installment of MegaGate, and I think this one is going to be the biggest one and the best one so far. We doing everything bigger, man. The food offering is bigger. We talking about the Jumbotron is bigger. The sounds are gonna be bigger. The people are gonna be bigger, man. We got some pretty big involvement from some folks who trying to make a difference in this world, man. We want to make sure we welcome the Warnock campaign to MegaGate 22. So come on out, guys. All you can eat offering, all you can drink offering, $25. You can't beat it. We down in the heart of all of the action. 5-minute walk to the gate to be able to go in there and watch the dogs play, or you could just stay at the tailgate and kick it with us, man, because we're going to have it televised. This show will be televised. Come out. Let's go.
That's it, man. Hey, next up is our guy. You know he bringing that energy. E-Rob. What's going on, E-Rob?
Coach, what's up, baby? Another week. Them dogs still undefeated. Them tailgate kings about to get shit crunk in the A. You know what I'm saying? I'm just happy to be alive. I'm just happy to be here, baby. Let's go.
That's right, man. All right, next up, man, we got our guy Shorty. What's going on, Thad Parker?
What's happening, fellas? Once again, like everybody else says, it's great to have an undefeated season. I think we reached the first of our goals. We have 2 more major goals to go, but we're definitely right here at our first one. So with that being said, not to take anything from the show, let's go. Let's get it.
That's right, man. Bringing up the rear, but definitely not least, I got CA. What's going on, Corey Allen?
Hey, man, glad to be here. You know, I'm just as excited as everybody else. We're going to try to keep it in the middle of the road if we can. We might get off rails. Y'all bear with us. You know, when you're undefeated, walking into another championship opportunity, you can't help but be excited. So, you know, it's our time, and we got to show and prove.
That's right, man. That's right, man. So I got Cool Cal might be a little late today, but he did leave us with an old start bench cut to start it out with. And this week is some of the best defenses in the SEC in the last 30 years. So last year, the Dogs had that historic run on defense. They're one of them. The UGA 21 defense, the Bama 11 defense, they did win a title, and the Bama 92 defense that won a title. E-Rob, we starting with you, dog. Who you starting, who you benching, and who you cutting? Who got the defense? Uh-oh, he needs some no quarters.
He did it on purpose.
E-Rob, you ready?
Wow.
He did it on purpose, man.
All right, so which defense you starting, which one you benching, and which one you cutting?
Okay, welcome, America. Well, sit down with your boy. Let's talk about this a little bit. So, here's the thing, and I want everybody to understand that I'm totally unbiased when I make my picks. Georgia last year is going to be my starter when we talk about best defenses here in the last 30 years, and here's why. This is in an era when all I heard in the last 5 to 10 years that defenses can't dominate anymore. Offenses are too sophisticated. There's too much going on. Quarterbacks are running. You can't do that anymore. Yeah, you can. The Bulldogs proved that. So that's why they're going to be my starter. Second, I'm going to go with the 2011 Bama team. I mean, what can you say? That team was unbelievable. And the only reason I'm putting 92 at last is they beat the team that I love as a kid. They beat them Hurricanes and knocked them off. And, and that was in the era where it was more of a, 3 yards in a cloud of dust. So, 9 points for the season is, unbelievably impressive. I'm just talking about the era. It wasn't a time where the ball was, going in there a lot. So Georgia and then Bama.
Yeah. I like your reasoning. Georgia 21 put up guarding numbers in a passing era. So I like that. Dad, what you got on it, dog? Who you starting, who you benching, who you cutting?
Well, I'm a stats guy, and stats, unfortunately in this case don't tell the whole story. But, they definitely weighs very heavy on my opinion. So just to keep it short and sweet, based off the stats, man, it's hard not to argue why this team should not be number one. But I'm going to put Bama 11 on the bench. Like I say, they have the best stats out of all three teams. So you would say that's the best defense, but that ain't the truth. With that being said, I'm going to cut the 92 Bama team. Another great team, good numbers, great stats. But once again, not being biased, might be a little bit. With that being said, as a home, I'm going to have to go with our team because that 21 Georgia defense, just to echo some of the things that E-Rob said. First of all, you got to understand that they played more games. Mm-hmm. So that's one thing. They played more games. Then once again, the era that they played in was more of a passing type of era. And also with that being said, they did something that none of these other defenses did. The most people ever drafted. So that lets you know it had to be something with the talent, regardless of what the numbers said. So that's my order right there, Coach.
Oh, I like that. I like that draft stat right there. CA, what you got on it, dog?
Man, these guys, I'm coming behind some aces right there. Look, well, I'm going to just shake the tree a little bit, man. Yeah, off the top, I got Bama 92. I really enjoyed watching that team. That's who I'm starting. I know it's odd to go against the grain, but that was the team I saw perform well in the SEC championship, helped to kick off, really ushered in an era of championship football, and this league has been unstoppable ever since. I got Georgia 21 right behind them, and then Bama 11 after that, just because I ain't going to ride Bama back-to-back. So, it is what it is. A lot of talent across the board, but, I really, just being nostalgic, I did enjoy what they did to that Miami team back in the day. They whooped on Florida, too, so I was like, I can't be mad at none of that.
Yeah, all right, JB, clean it up for us, dog. What you got on it?
Hey, man, all great points. I'm just going to go ahead and start out with the team I'm going to cut. I'm going to cut Alabama 11. I'm going to go ahead and get them guys up out of here. And here's the reason why. I'm gonna start the Dogs. I'm gonna start the Dogs for the very reason that E-Rob had mentioned. These guys playing in a passing era, pass-happy era, where people feel like nobody can be stopped once that quarterback has space and athletes. But we showed that not to be the case. We showed what happens when you put some grown men on that field, some real dogs, and you put them up against folks who are ill-equipped to handle that strength. We dominated. We won the natty based off of the strength of the defense. But I'm going to come, of course, with this 92 team, man. And I'm telling you, this 92 team didn't play in that passing era. This is why I put them on the bench. But when they did, I sit here and watch these cats play every snap. They had some of the most talented cats. I could run down the list: Langdon, Odom, Curry. They had a list of guys that realistically, I don't think a lot of folks want to see these days. And only reason why I have them on the bench is because of they didn't play in this passing era, but they dominated the era they played in. And when they did play against a passing team like Florida and old ball coach, when they did play against Gino Torella, Lamar Thomas, all these guys that were talking that cash money trash coming out of the youth, out of the bottom in Florida, they went to the Sugar Dome, the Sugar Bowl, and shut them down. I'm talking about in monumental fashion. So those are my three guys. I'm starting the Dogs, following up with 92 Alabama, cutting 11 Alabama.
There it is, man. All some great defenses. Another good start bench cut by Cool Cal, man. Like I say, I think like Shawty said, man, the Dogs had the most drafted, but them Bama teams was definitely loaded as well. So let's say what's up to some of the Dog Nation in the comments. First and foremost, always first, is Shelby, man.
Lady Shelby.
Say, that's right.
The first lady of the attic.
That's right. She say, see you at Megagate 2022. She ready already. She say she been hydrating since Sunday. She is already ready.
I like that. Set the tone.
AP in the house. What's going on, AP? Hey, B. Miller in the house. He said, who run this state? The Dogs run this state. That's right. That's right.
For the longest.
That's right. Dutch is in the house. What's going on, Dutch?
What's going on, Kelton?
Oh, man. ATL in 2022 military dog. What's going on, man?
What's going on? Big time.
AP said that 2009 Florida defense was on point, too. They was on point. That's right. He said he would be starting the 92 Bama, benching Georgia 21, and then cutting 11 is how I'm reading that. Yeah, that's what he said. All right, Carlo.
11 ain't getting no love. They had the best number.
I know it. See, I think you're the only one went with 11 on the bench, dog.
They only gave up 183 yards a game.
Hey, ain't no wrong answers, baby. Come on now. It's still a Georgia channel.
And look, you the one that started Georgia.
Yeah,
I know. Oh, Carlos say, I know we're not supposed to look ahead, but he ready for the natty. Hey, man, listen.
All right, who ain't got their tickets in their hotel room and they flight? Raise their hand.
Listen, man, listen. Listen, me and Charlotte was talking before it started, man. It's almost like it's too easy. I'm like, bro, like I'm looking. Somebody telling me about the top four. I don't really watch the little presentation. Hey, when you're a Dog fan, you don't really need to watch the presentation because you know you in the four. So it's like I don't need to really watch it like that.
Hold up, Coach. Jumping the gun. I'm not gonna do that. No.
Go ahead. Let's do it. We ain't got
you want to take her down the rabbit hole, see?
That's right. Let's do it.
I'm going with you.
Me too. I'm on the boat.
Besides, when you look at the table, when you look at what's in front of us, Georgia and Michigan really got an open slate. It feels like we're gonna get in regardless. I don't want to lose this game, but talk to me about what you see on the landscape. If Georgia loses, if Michigan loses, I don't see any other opportunities to still bump us out. Prove me wrong. Tell me where I'm lying at.
Listen, I put this out I want to say right after the games on Saturday. Georgia and Michigan are in. It's like regardless. It doesn't matter. LSU can win. Purdue can win. Georgia and Michigan are in. And I'm going to be honest with you. If the committee keeping it a buck, TCU is in regardless. Like
They went out.
To be honest with you.
Listen, if TCU loses their conference championship, that'll be a team that they've already beaten, and they'll have one loss. So then Ohio State can be like, oh, we got one loss too. Well, you got shellacked at home by 20.
And didn't make your championship game.
Didn't make your championship game, and TCU got 5, if not 6, ranked wins on the season. So I actually think I put out that Georgia.
What about the one lost Pac-12 champion?
I think they in. If what you call it wins. Yeah, if USC lose, they got 2 losses. Yeah. So now Ohio State has, somewhat of a, and then listen, Bama could backdoor in if USC lose, dog.
See, now we going down the road I was trying to stay out of.
Listen, I'm telling you, I honestly feel like Georgia, Michigan, and TCU, regardless of what's going on, they gonna be in. It's all about the 4th spot. And if USC win, USC is in. If USC lose, now we're gonna see some chaos. We're gonna see a whole bunch of coaches doing what Ryan Day was doing last week, seeing what Nick Saban was doing last week. Everybody lobbying for their team. How they got a good schedule, and they got we only lost in overtime now. Like, Tennessee fans still trying to get in.
Hey, listen, man, look. I need everybody who ain't a dog just to wait on us to win the Natty. They can talk about anything they want to talk about. They can walk down any road they were saving. You can walk down. You can say what you want to say, Saban. If you get against them dogs, we gonna shellac you too. We are not playing with these teams, man. They are not on the level, man. I don't care what they want to talk about. This is again our championship to lose. Bring Tennessee back, because if you gonna put a team in now,
they
don't allow their quarterback.
Yeah. Lost their quarterback.
All I'm saying is this: if you looking at their body of work right here, besides us whooping them and then them get shellacked by South Carolina.
I was about to say, come on, we can't overlook the 63. We can't overlook 63.
Hey, we got to shout out South Carolina.
That's right.
We got to shout out. They won't.
Name the quality win Bama has had, and they should have lost. They should have lost to Texas. They should have lost that game.
So, that's why I say if USC loses, that's going to create a whole week of, I don't know what's going. Well, actually, the game will be on Saturday, and then they make the choice on, is it Sunday or the following Tuesday?
I got you, Carlo.
I think it's the following Tuesday. Quick. Oh, it might be that Sunday.
I'm rooting for that. I want to see all out chaos. That's all. I just want to see chaos. I just want to sit back and just watch it. Just watch it all hit the fan.
As long as we are undefeated.
Like I said, I feel like we waiting on the 4th team. If the Dogs and TCU and Michigan should lose, I think it's all about who's going to be 1, 2, or 3. I don't think either of them are going to be out. It's just about who's 1, 2, or 3. Like if we beat LSU by 7 and Michigan wins by 30. Michigan could jump us for number 1 because, and at the end of the day, I tell people I really don't care. Just get us in. That's all. That's all I want. I don't.
This is why I care, Coach. First of all, y'all see this gold G behind my head.
Look what you done did, see. Look what you done did, see.
Hey, bring it on, JD.
Gold G. Hey, let me tell you something, man. This gold G mean we are the gold standard, man. We need to be number 1 so I can walk down the street and go to our championship game. That's why we need to be number 1. I don't want to have to go to Arizona. We need to be at the Dome, the Benz, our new home.
That's
number
right.
1, number 4, that's where we at.
That's right. Carlos said they're going to announce it on Sunday, and I'm with you. That Peach Bowl sound real good on, December 31st it is. So, and Marcus Sellers, what's going on, Marcus? Marcus said, they're going to try to find a way to get Bama up in there. I'm telling you, dog, how they do. You got one loss, Ohio State, who got handled at the house, didn't make their championship. Then you got Bama. They already been lobbying for Bama the whole time, saying, hey, Bama lost 1 field goal at Tennessee, and they went into overtime with LSU and all that stuff. They trying to get them in, dog. I'm trying to tell you now.
They can't get in past Ohio State.
That loss, the LSU loss, got to hurt too because that takes some of their strength away.
And see, that's what I say. But like I say, it says, do we prefer SC or TCU? What's going on, man? Welcome into the house. I'm gonna be honest with you. In my book, they pretty much the same team. They got a lot of offense and no defense, and then they got to block our front four. So it's like,
and I'm gonna question a lot of offense. I'm gonna question that. I'm gonna question it.
It'd be a Fruit Loop today, didn't it? But
JB had some of that Energizer Bunny in the Fruit Loops tonight.
like
Hey, I'm just saying that I know my team. Y'all see this gold G behind my head?
Talk to him.
I think the problem they're gonna have, any team gonna have, is the point that we're gonna have time to prepare, and that's what's really not good for anybody that we got to play.
And see, I had a conversation with one of my friends. He's another YouTuber, USC Trojan fan. I say the problem is if y'all make it to the 4th spot and we're in the 1 spot is what Thad just said. I said Kirby got to have a whole month to prepare. I said your best bet would be to not play us the first round, and hopefully we only got 8 days to prepare for you in the championship. I was like, honestly, I think that's the best option for you. Go ahead, CA.
No, I was just gonna say I think that's crucial because right now, I mean, when I look at it, I feel like I got a lot of similarities from last year in that we don't really have an identity, especially on offense. You know, last year we were a defensive-led team. Offense was just trying to hang on and not make mistakes. This year we're strong defensively, but you don't know if we want to run for 250 on you or if we're gonna try to throw for 300 on you. We got all the tools, but you can't really pigeonhole us right now, and I think that's gonna play to our benefit is what I'm, looking forward to. Todd Monken, that's really going to be in his hands. Get the healthiest guys on the field, and from week to week, I'll take my coaching staff versus anybody else. So we get a chance to see what it looks like this Thad Parker season, maybe these 3 games.
These 3 games, and what you said, healthy is. I'm gonna tell you, I don't know if y'all caught it in warm-ups, and he actually got in for a play.
Well, I saw 5.
That doggone AD.
Everybody saw 5.
Everybody 5, boy. Hey, I'm smiling. I'm smiling for Eddie. I said, "Is that 5 dressed out on the field?"
I said, don't throw it to him or nothing. Just let him run around and get a feel for it.
Exactly.
Hey, Milton added a little spice back to that running game too.
Listen,
He hungry.
He hungry. I think he really hungry. I think he right
should
now
be fresh.
he should be fresh. Yeah, he ain't playing all year.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
He should be unopened mayonnaise for real.
Hey, listen.
That JB-ism,
Hey, listen. We welcome a healthy Kendall Milton to the fold. You know what I'm saying? Like CA said, they don't know how we're gonna hit them. They don't know if we're gonna go for 200 and what we went for on Tech, 274 yards on the ground.
Everything we wanted.
Like Stetson had like 40 yards passing in the first half, and then I think, you know what I'm saying. So listen, speaking of old Stat the mailman, let me ask y'all something, man. So right now, and this is all opinion based, ain't nobody's opinion wrong.
Go ahead.
Outside of his political agenda, Herschel Walker is considered the greatest Bulldog ever, right? The greatest Bulldog ever brought us 1 championship, right?
Okay.
Will Stetson have a claim to the best Bulldog ever if we win back to back?
Great question.
It's on you, Thad. It's on you, Thad.
Oh,
that man, go ahead.
I mean, you can make an argument about almost anything, but I just think the thing that's going to always hurt Stetson is the defense.
But you said, the offense better this year, right?
I mean, it is better, but even I just don't think. I mean, that's where I think that's the big distraction. That's like the asterisk on him as a player. No matter what, people gonna always say anybody could have won with those defenses.
Even if he in New York, even if he go get invited to New York for the Heisman this year, how can they say that? How can you say that?
And they're gonna kill him too. He ain't got no hardware. That man, you talking about won all kind of hardware.
You're right. You're right. I'm throwing it out there, but all that hardware only got us for a championship. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, Coach, if you ask me, as a walk-on, if he leads us to a second title, which is what I expect, he'll at least be legendary.
He got to be in the conversation like LeBron in the conversation.
Yeah,
he already there.
That's true, exactly. So if you give him another one, you got to at least, I can't argue with somebody who might want to go down that road, whether I believe it or not.
Well, let's ask another dog who's about to join us, man. We got a guy here to play DB at the University of Georgia. Started 3 years, was two-time all SEC, played about 10 years Arena League. He know a little bit about football. Let's get his opinion on it. Let's bring in Corey Johnson. What's going on, Corey?
Hey, what's up, guys? What's up? What's up? I apologize for being tardy, man. I was at baby girl basketball game, man, and in the car right now. Had to jump on to see what you guys had going on.
So the question on the board, Corey, the question on the board is, right now, Herschel Walker is considered the best dog of all time, right?
Right.
The best dog of all time brought us 1 championship and 1 Heisman. If Stetson Bennett leads us to back-to-back national title, will he have a play at the best dog ever?
I think so. I mean, he's done something. First of all, he came and, you're talking about since 80, he come in and he take us as a walk-on. No one gave him the opportunity at being a starter at the University of Georgia, not to even mention playing at the University of Georgia. And he leads the team to a national title, 12-win season, regular season, and undefeated in the SEC, and then duplicate that the second year and win another national title. Got to be considered.
Gotta be. So B. Miller say to Pollock is the most decorated Bulldog with no championships. That's true.
Hard,
that's true. It's
hard.
Hey, Pollock was an animal. So let's see.
Now I definitely think Stetson would have the greatest story ever. You know what I mean? Like that's like a documentary waiting to happen type thing.
There you go. That's what we got on our hands. We can say that.
So Marcus Sellers say. So we'll say that Herschel's still gonna hold the title. Marcus Sellers say Stetson not even the best QB in Georgia history. What game has Stetson won? Listen, I don't know if Stetson done won a game per se, but I can tell you ain't no other quarterback got back-to-back national championships.
He ain't lost between the hedges. I don't know what he won, but I know he ain't lost.
Well, my thing is, and not to cut anyone off, but my thing is, are we talking about what he's doing and what he's able to not only help the team do? He's winning games regardless of what he's at the helm. He's the one that's back there that everybody on that team have confidence that, he's going to get the job done. And like I say, I played with, some great quarterbacks in Georgia history, with Eric Zire, who slang it all over the place and all this and that, but I guarantee you that if you ask Eric whether or not he'll substitute all those records that he have for a national title, 2 national title, and SEC title, he would definitely do that in a heartbeat.
Hey, Ro, tell him to sub for them defenses. He'll probably have 1 or 2.
I was just about to say.
Right.
So that's why Shawty say the defenses that Stetson's had will probably keep him from being the greatest dog ever because of what we've had on defense.
Are we gonna punish him? Because still the defense, they did their thing, but you're talking about a guy like Trent Dilfer who played with Baltimore, and hey man, he played with arguably the best defense to ever be assembled. But he got out there and he did what he had to do as a quarterback to help them win a championship. And if that calls for handing the ball, if that calls for handing the ball off, making the check, you know what I'm saying? You know how it goes when they out there on offense. They got to run, they got an initial play, then they got a check play, and nowadays they even have an additional play. So he got to be able to put them in the right position. He got to be able to put that offensive line where they need to be at on their blocking scheme. And it takes a special guy to go out there and do that.
E-Rob, you were saying something. What you were saying, E-Rob?
Stetson, I understand that we've had some great defense, but Stetson's going to throw for 3,000 yards this year. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much what Eric Zire was doing when he was throwing the ball all around. He was throwing for 3,000 yards. So, we have had great defense, but that young man has played well. He played well last year, and he's gotten better this year. So, I don't know.
Right.
Yeah. Hey, it's a conversation. All right. Another question, then we'll move on. Vince Dooley is the best coach in Georgia history. If Kirby went back to back, do Kirby take his place?
Yes.
CA.
Yep.
You being quiet up there.
I say yes. I can have that.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Don't do that to me, man. Chris, come on. Respectfully now. Everybody understand the season we in, and we just went through this, and I ain't gonna throw no dirt on nothing they don't need, but look, Kirby handle his business, Kirby handle his business. That's all it is.
I'm just saying, Kirby handling business, man. We might need to be called the Kirby Hedges inside Vince Dooley.
It's gonna happen.
Something, dog.
Step by step.
We need Kirby way. We need Kirby way outside the facility or something. That's all I'm saying. Oh man, so listen, man, we got us a good victory over the technical school downtown Atlanta, man. They tried to come out fight. They tried to come out fighting in the first half. I think me and Thad was talking about. It was like, y'all as players, man. When y'all played that 12 o'clock game, y'all kind of think about what y'all gonna do after the game instead of the game itself. Stetson said after the game that he really didn't even like the 12 o'clock game, especially with the senior night. He's like the senior day because it take away from the game. He's like sometimes you can look too much at the senior aspect of it and then not really play the game. JV, what's your thoughts on the game from Saturday?
Man, there ain't a whole lot that I want to say about the game Saturday. It happened the way we figured it was going to happen. The issue with being a B, right? They can only sting you once. When dogs get at you, it's a long.
I like that. I like that.
In the first half, they scored first. It was cute. It felt good to their crowd, but after we just run the dog on them, it's all over. I really didn't expect much out of them, and it showed. We went out there and we handled business. It was kind of a slow dragging, and I enjoyed it. And I was ready to get on to the SEC championship. Mega Gate 22. Let's get it.
That is Mega Gate 22, by the way. Hey, JV's $25. All you can eat, all you can drink. Be there.
Show up.
We're gonna remind y'all throughout the show. So, any other thoughts on Tech before we move on to LSU? CA, you got a little hate in your heart. Share it with the world.
Well, I tell you what. Look, no, the only thing I'm gonna say is we got through it. I feel like we were healthy more than anything else. I didn't like what they accomplished in the first half, but I think that's going to bode well for us as we prepare for the LSU Tigers and the SEC championship. So, we moving on. That was a hurdle. That was, something that was really more mental than anything. And I think at this point we're ready to look forward to this championship opportunity. We down in Atlanta. Ain't that what Pharrell's new song said? We down in Atlanta now, baby. It's our time to kick it, and we really need to focus on this LSU Tiger team that we faced with.
There it is. Moving on to the SEC championship game preview. Corey Johnson, man, what you seen from them LSU Tigers that you think we got to focus on?
I tell you, man, they're gonna come out, and I think they're gonna be pretty much like a Georgia Tech. I think they understand that they're overmanned, but they're gonna come out in the beginning and they're gonna give us their best shot. And once we, take their best shot and we're still standing, that's gonna be it. They're gonna be done. They're gonna just be like, hey man, let's go ahead on and make it and see what bowl game we get to.
I like it. Shawty, you always talk about the mobile quarterbacks. They got one that's very mobile. Any chance he's able to make it a game in the first half?
Well, one thing about his mobility, I don't know if your guys know, he was actually in the boot today or yesterday, I think. But I think he'll be okay. But what I'm getting at is he's not 100%. I don't know if he's going to be 100%. So that could definitely be a big detriment to the offense in the way that they are able to move the ball. But once again, time has not been their friend. We have had a lot of time to prepare for these guys. We also get some guys back healthy. So, kind of like Rose said, I see them coming out with some emotion in the beginning because, once again, this is LSU. They do have some athletes. I do think they have some players that can cause some matchup problems, preferably the outside linebacker they have. So I do see them presenting some problems. I just don't know if they have enough men all the way across the board to beat us. So I think we eventually wear them down and beat up on them.
Yeah, I think one of the guys we need to definitely be on the lookout for is Harold Perkins, the freshman on defense. That's the one. E-Rod, what you see from him that you like?
Hey, look, that's the key to the game. We get him blocked, and they don't have enough Jimmys and Joes to match up. You just can't let that kid take over the game and cause turnovers and it just cause havoc. I expect, like Laz said, we've had time to prepare. I expect that our coaches will come up with a plan to make sure we keep him neutralized. And if once that happens, this game will be over by the third quarter. Into the third quarter, it'll be well in hand.
Yeah, I like that too, man. So, JV, you got any pregame thoughts on the LSU Tiger, man? Because you've been locked in tonight. I like it.
No, not really. I appreciate them actually doing something that nobody thought they were going to do, but it don't really matter. At this point, the luster is off of their season because they took that L last week. I don't think they're going to be able to just stand up to us for, the first half, the full first half. They're going to come out as long as that adrenaline is pumping, which is going to be, as soon as the ball kicks off. And once we start putting that pressure on them and we put a couple boosts to them, it's going to be over. I'm just looking forward to us getting out of there healthy. And that might be a little overconfidence, but that's how I feel. I want to get out of there healthy. And that's the only thing I feel like can hurt us from this game.
Well, Shelby said like Thad was missing a QB, was injured. It said the line is 18.5 now. Jesus Christ!
It started at 13.
He must be hurt bad because I watched LSU this year and I couldn't even tell you who their backup is. To be real with you, so that don't bode well for them. And like I think Thad mentioned too, like because they sealed it up 2 weeks ago, that's giving Kirby a lot of time to go ahead and start preparing. How does that work as players when you preparing for Mississippi State and then you preparing for Georgia Tech, but you still installing for another team? Is the coach Corey? Is the coach telling you preparing for another team, or he just be throwing plays and stuff at you?
No, you definitely don't speak that. You never want your players to feel like you're overlooking the next opponent. So you just go in and you start putting in things that you saying that we looking to run this down the road. You know what I'm saying? We could run it this week. You know what I'm saying? We're looking to show them something different. And once you do that and you go out and you rep it. The coaching staff know why you're repping it, but the players don't know why. They're going to do what they're coached to do, and then the next thing you know, when the time comes, now you're like, okay, we're going even deeper into this playbook. So then they'll be ready to go.
Okay, T. Smalls getting in on the greatest coach, greatest dog ever. He said Kirby will be the greatest coach ever, but Stetson will just be the greatest story, not necessarily the greatest dog. So
that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. I can get with that. Hey, I had to ask, man, Stetson, listen, man, back to back. A lot of teams don't get back to back. Not more than a handful in history. So that's just a feat in itself if we are to accomplish that. Let's go through the comments. We got a lot of comments in here. Carlos said he wouldn't be the greatest dog because he never got frustrated watching Herschel run the ball.
That's pretty good.
Hey, B. Miller say Stanton definitely gonna get a movie deal. If he don't, something wrong.
and then you gotta think about it. We're talking about an individual being the greatest individual. Granted, he's the quarterback, but it's more of a team award winning the national championship. You know what I mean? Herschel did great things individually.
Yeah, he did. I just want to say greatest dog. I ain't say greatest player. You know what I'm saying? Herschel's I feel like always going to be the greatest player because it's hard to do what Herschel did. When everybody in the country know you're getting it on third in a million, you still get it and get the first down. That's some different stuff right there. So just wish he wasn't all out on TV these days. But
thing about Stetson can walk in the grocery store, you won't know who he is. You see Herschel Walker, you gonna know he's somebody.
Yeah, you right about that. You right about that.
He the new Rudy, baby. They're gonna remake that and get a movie out and call it Stet.
So look, coming into the year, this goes to Rugby Vid's comment. He says, "I'm gonna be honest. I believe fully in this team, but regardless of what happens, we have overachieved. What do y'all think about that? Considering, let's talk preseason. Preseason, we had lost 15 players to the draft, and you know what I'm saying, all that talent. 5 first rounders. Have we overachieved if we win, you know, the national championship? Or I don't think JV thinks that. I think JV think we right where we supposed to be.
I don't think we overachieved because we came into the season knowing that our offense was going to be dynamic. I think we all said that at the beginning of the season before we even saw the first game. We did think that the defense was going to take a step back because we lost some of that wisdom and some of that gameplay. But I think that we're, if not more, as talented because we continue to have depth. So I don't think we really overachieved. We just thought that the rest of the league was going to be better, and they not.
Yes.
Anybody? The CA, you got some thoughts on that?
Well, no, I agree. I think JV hit the nail on the head. The quarterback play in the conference, especially when I look at the East, was a little bit disappointing. So I don't know if that was my mic or not, but yeah, I think the defense really did play a little bit better than I expected. I think that coincided with some of the play we got on the opposite side from other quarterbacks. But aside from that, we did expect the offense to develop. I'm not totally surprised by the result, but I mean, who am I to complain?
Yeah, which brings into question, I've been having some live streams and being on other people's live stream. I think Kirby should be squarely in for Coach of the Year. I know that people are going to look at him and say, well, they get all these players, they expected to do good, but what he's done, like A.D. Mitchell ain't played but 2 games this year. So
Texas A&M's expected to do good too.
Hey, exactly. A part of coaching.
Exactly. And you know, like I say, we second year in a row, for the most part, we've done it without our number 1 wide receiver. And then, you know, the last 5 games, we've done it without, you know, our best run stopper in Nolan Smith. It's like, it doesn't matter who's on the field, Kirby just keeps it going. So when we're looking at it, shouldn't Kirby be squarely in that conversation, you know, along with the TCU coach who, you know, first year undefeated, and Lincoln Riley and all of that?
I'm going to say this right here. Nick Saban was always in the running for Coach of the Year. And I'm going to share with you guys something that a big-time Alabama fan shared with me when Kirby got to University of Georgia. He said, do you know what's been consistent with the University of Alabama winning championship after championship after championship? He said it was Nick Saban, it was Kirby Smart, and it was the strength and conditioning coach. He said when Kirby Smart got the head job, he went and got the strength and conditioning coach from Alabama. Kirby Smart, I don't know if you guys been around him. Kirby Smart is a recruiting guru. Kirby Smart knows how to talk to those kids to get those kids to want to come play for him. I mean, that's hands down second to none. I watched Nick Saban, you know, kind of stand around during the camps when they got all these recruits in, you know, these 5 stars and all this and that. Kirby Smart went from drill to drill, and he had the relationship with those guys. And the reason why we're able to lose those 5, 6 guys to the NFL, 9, 10 off the whole team, Alabama was doing the same thing. And just like you said, we created depth. And just like Alabama would do, they didn't, you know what I'm saying, rebuild. They just reloaded. And that's what you're seeing from the University of Georgia now. You're seeing them reload and not rebuild.
I agree with all of that. And Kirby definitely is a relentless recruiter. Hence the, I want to say, E-Rob posted it in our little group chat. The wide receiver we just flipped from Oklahoma. Dude that run like a 10-3 or something. Another like Arian Smith. 10-2, something like that. Wow. I'm like, Kirby, listen, the wide receiver speed in 2023 is going to be ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Kirby for keeping it going. Not just recruiting them guys, man, but putting them in the right situation and plug and play. Like, you still got to
develop them. What about developing?
That's what I was just about to say. You still got to teach them how to run the system. You know what I'm saying? Like, and everybody not able to do that. Like, that's a lot of people. Ohio State get the pick of the litter, but it's like Kirby's doing something a little bit different once they get on campus as well. So flowers to Kirby, man, regardless of what's going down the rest of the way this year. Who else in the comments, bro? We got a lot of people. First of all, shout out to the people that's watching that's not in the comments. We don't give y'all enough love verbally, so we want to say thank you for supporting the show. We know a lot of people. Yeah, we see you. We see you, but we don't see you. But feel free to get in the comments if you want to. If y'all got any questions for anybody on the panel, y'all go ahead and start putting them in. We're going to go ahead and get some predictions early while people getting their questions in. Thad, what you got on the score prediction for this weekend? Like we say, the point spread is 18.5.
Well, I don't know if we cover, but I like 34-9.
34-9. Okay, E-Rod, what you got, dog?
Keep this short and sweet, 38-6.
CA, what score prediction you got?
I got a 28-12.
That's right. Okay, JB, what is it you got on that score, bro?
Yeah, man, I got us at about 35-10. I mean, that's what Shelby said. 35-10.
Exactly. She said 35-10. Corey, what you got on it, man? What 18.5 point spread? What you think that score gonna be like?
I got a couple more than what Jay just said. We got them at 42-10.
I think it's gonna look. B. Miller say he got him at 35-14. That's what I was gonna go with. I think they'll get a late touchdown against the second defense. I think the game will be in control pretty much right before halftime, and then we'll just go ahead and put them on to sleep the rest of the way. I do have a question from M and A Pitts. Say quietly, you can't tell me y'all not worried about Stetson's poor play the last two games. Throwing only 250 for the last two games. His overall quarterback stats way down. I'll take this one first, and then somebody can follow up. I'm not worried about it. As long as Stetson ain't turning the ball over, Stetson can really throw for 50 yards. I mean, it's like Corey said at the beginning of the CA said at the beginning of the show. We got so many different ways that we can hit you. Like Milton being back healthy. We already know what Kenny McIntosh going to bring us. We haven't even had to really tap into Dejon Edwards. And then we still got the tight ends, Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers is actually, he helps us in the run game as well. So, I mean, it doesn't concern me. Is there anybody on the panel that Stetson's last two games worry them?
That's Stetson. I mean, that's Stetson. You know what I'm saying? That's Stetson. Like you said, Coach, it's about him not turning the ball. If he don't turn the ball over, I don't care. I really don't care about the stats because we're going to be hard to deal with because the things that he can do with his legs, the things he can do to extend plays, extend drives, it's just going to make it hard for you with that defense and with the rest of the things that we got. So as long as he don't give it to the other team, we're going to be hard to deal with.
Have y'all seen the playbook the last 3-4 weeks, man? Come on, man. We got the bubble gum. We've been putting the bubble gum plays out there, man. We ain't been doing nothing, man.
What's funny is I thought about that. I thought about that in the first half because you was like sometimes because Todd Monken, I think he is kind of ingenious with it. Like, yeah, and then he'll bring out some play and you like, what is being Todd? He like, I got y'all, man. Like, just chill out. I got y'all. I think the coaching staff knows when the other team is outmatched and they like, let's keep it kind of vanilla and let's, our guys will take over.
That's why I say 28-12. That's why I say 28-12 because I don't think we're going to lay it on too thick. We're going to save some for somebody else.
And I think Shaw talked about this maybe last week, might have been the week before. With Stetson, man, even when you look at him in these last few games, because it's been so vanilla, he has a defense playing behind him. And I think sometimes he take them deep shots when he ain't really supposed to take them because he bored. He's just throwing the ball out there.
Exactly. I think the same thing. I think sometimes he like, well, to y'all point, that with the good defense, the great defense that we have, he like, this game getting kind of boring. He looked like he might be open, so let me take a shot. If I throw an interception, it's more like a punt anyway. I don't like that he do that.
Well, I don't think it's reckless. I think it's by design. I think the coach just asking him, we need more 50-50 balls. Let's find out what that guy can do when the game is on the line in a real world scenario. Yeah, it might end up in a turnover, but guess what? We can bank on something that the other side can't. So I think everything is by design that Stetson does, whether he has success or not.
50 balls. I don't think that's by design. Kirby cussing his little ass out. So
well, hey,
well, look, I'm gonna tell you too.
Kirby gonna do that anyway.
To CA point, just think about this. If you take a look at the game last week, we was playing Georgia Tech, and we about to play LSU this week. Guess what? Coach had them doing. Did y'all see all the man-to-man coverage we were playing, putting them boys in vulnerable situations? That's when you do it against Tech.
Yeah,
real live bullets. You see what I'm saying? Real live bullets to prepare them for LSU.
Exactly. To that point, Shawty, I mean, not to bring another team in, but Dabo do that throughout the ACC. Like when they had Trevor Lawrence, they would try everything throughout the ACC, and then they get to the playoffs and they be on point. And it looked like they struggling throughout the season because they trying a lot of stuff because he got the horses, like you say, because it's Tech, because it's this person, because it's that person, because it's Vandy. It's like, dog, like if we can't put these guys in vulnerable situations against Tech, then we definitely don't need to put them in vulnerable situations, you know.
And they throwing that Ringo.
And that's game planning for a future opponent. That's what we just talked about. That's game planning for a future opponent. You know, Georgia Tech playing bump and run. Georgia Tech wasn't the opponent that we playing bump and run for. You know, that's for later on.
Right.
Yeah. Now let me ask you something, Corey. Me and Thad kind of talked about it on Saturday. You think that teams are targeting Keeley more often now?
I think so. I think they are. And I'm gonna tell you, I think the guy. So one of my guy I played ball with called me. He's from Arizona, and he was just telling me about, you know, he said, man, he's big, he's fast, you know. I don't know how much you watch the guy, but he's lacking a little bit in his technique, and he's relying on his size and his speed too much. And what I mean by that, you know, he's coming up and he's in a press position, but the only thing he's doing is turning and running. You know, as big as this guy, you know, is, if he move his feet and, you know, then get his hands, I mean, he knows how to get off the ball on this guy. But I think because his technique, you know, you attack this guy because of his technique.
Hey, I'm with you. I think last year I mentioned, or not last year, maybe it's this year, but like he gets up in the press, man, but he don't put his hands on nobody. That's the only thing I always think that puts him at a disadvantage.
Well, he has a problem transitioning coming up. You know what I'm saying? He plays the deep ball well, but right. So he has a problem transitioning. You know, when somebody's running curls, comebacks, and things like that, he has a problem coming out his break once he's turned his hips.
That's right.
I think teams are trying to, you know, kind of pick on him a little bit until he show that he can play that better.
Especially with the stop routes and the comeback routes. Like, I think they rather try him there all the way down the field than to try him deep all the time. So, JV, this for you, your boy Jonathan Grant, man. He said, question for you, dog. Can we comment on the correlation between 19's game improving as his hairline declines drastically? Is that a tight end thing to look forward to?
Oh, wow.
Let me tell you something, man. Let's talk about these tight ends in this hairline, baby.
That bad
oh, wow.
Hey, man, I'm a little older than my guy, so I done put some years in. But look, if I could get a tight end that has a hairline like him but play like him every year, Uncle tight ends from high school the rest of my life. I need. Listen, man, he need to cut it off, because I actually think that he could pull off one of those those Kelsey cuts, and he'll be all the rage. But man, hey, listen, as long as he play, I don't care what the hell he can have an handicap.
Hey, for real. Hey, that 19 something different, man. B. Miller say tight end you, baby.
Man.
Listen, 19 is something different, bro. And so him and Darnell, I think, are finalists for the Mackey Award. I think Brock should have won it last year. Went to the guy from Texas A&M. Look at Stat Guy. Listen, man. I know this is a dog show. Stat Guy, he always try to contribute.
Is that Carolina?
Yeah, stat guy want to know tomorrow. Better be glad we playing LSU and not South Carolina. Listen, stat guy. I told the dude at work, man. Listen, take the 2 top 10 wins, enjoy them, ride them out, but don't go barking up the wrong tree. We different, bro.
I ain't mad at him. Look at here. I enjoy seeing. Yeah, that's in the wind. They pissing in the wind. That's right. Look at here. Good job. Good job. Way to muck it up for a bunch of other people.
Hey,
exactly.
Speaking of Darnell Washington,
and stripped in my schedule. I appreciate that guy.
Go ahead.
Man, speaking of Darnell Washington, man, I'm gonna tell you something, man. We gonna miss this kid here, man.
Bro,
I don't know if y'all see the way this guy blocks, man. Stealing edges. Hey, bro, we gonna miss him, man. He's got to be the underrated MVP, like for real.
I said the same thing. I was telling that guy, man. I think he's going early. I think he's leaving. We got that blocking when Darnell Washington is blocking on the edge, dog. It's a different story. I don't know what's going on, but that dude blocked better than our tackles blocked, to be honest with you. And so I'm gonna miss that dude when he's gone. I think he's gonna be gone after this season. So Marcus Seller says, will Erik be in the TE room next year?
That's anybody's guess.
No, I ain't got no info for you, Marcus. We try. Hey, I'm gonna tell you what Kirby said, man. We try to make sure the guy's good in life, man. That's
from week to week.
Week to week, baby. That's what we're doing. So B. Miller say Georgia has more tight ends to play in the NFL than any other school. Take that. Look at JV. Look at JV.
I've been saying it since last year when I said he's getting his star position back, baby.
Let's see. I
got a question for our guest.
Go ahead.
Corey Johnson, Lil Roe, big brother. Glad to have you on, man. I just wanted to get your your evaluation on the safety play. You know, we got this senior veteran and we got this incoming young talented athlete back there. What do you see in these two guys, and how do you feel they play off of one another, and do you see success as the Dogs move forward just from that position, a position you know quite well?
I think what we're doing back there at the safety position, and it's something that Kirby specialized in. You know, Kirby had his hand on some good safeties, and what makes them good is these guys can run. They're not afraid to tackle, and if you notice that, you know, they play up they come downhill and they'll hit you. And I think, you know, we're in great shape at the safety position. And I just like to see those guys, you know, fly around. You know, they're going to put their foot in the ground and they come. Kirby not afraid to bring them on blitzes and, you know, and cover with the corners and play games. That was one of the things that, you know, even going into the Tennessee game, you know, I had a lot of guys talking about the Tennessee, you know, the receivers and all this and that. And I'm like, man, I don't know if you understand that this guy's going to bring, and the safety allows him to be able to do this, bring zone blitzes, you know, and bring, you know, bring the corner blitzes, because those guys can run and cover as well. So I think we're in great shape at the safety position.
Good. Appreciate it, Coach.
Yep. All right. Thad and E-Rob, y'all up, baby.
All right.
All right, Ro. You want to go first, E-Rob?
Oh, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
All right, Ro, this question for you, man. I ask every guest that come on the show this same particular question. So before I get into that question, though, I want to say, man, I appreciate you coming on the show, man. You've been a great inspiration. I see what you're doing in the community, in the high schools with all the kids, man. You're a good guy, good family, man. We appreciate you coming on the show, and you're an inspiration to of all, especially young pups like me. So with that being said, all right, coming out of high school, man, we were all, you know, 1-star, 2-star, 3-star. We was all studs in our own right, whatever we may have been. But when you got to Georgia, I want you to tell me what player made you say, hey, man, I got to get my shit together. I got to get in this weight room. I got to get in this playbook. I got to do whatever I got to do to get on this field. What player inspired you to get better?
It was quite a few guys, man. When I came in, I played running back and defensive back. And I love telling this story here, man, because when I came on my recruiting trip, I had one of the great E-Rob, Carlos Yancey. When I told him what position I played, I told him, I said, I played running back and I played defensive back. And he was like, oh, yeah, you'll be a DB. You'll be a DB. And I got hard mad with that dude, man, because I'm like, this guy don't know me from nobody. And he's already telling me that I'm going to be a DB. But, I mean, when I make the move to DB and I'm out there and I see a Frank Harvey, Frank Harvey, 250, 260 pounds, running 4.5s. You talking about, man, I got to tackle that. We went through that my freshman year where, we had a lot of attitude and fight where we go Oklahoma, man. We go to Oklahoma and we lined up. E-Rob, you might remember that. We lined up and we hit from the receivers to the running backs, the fullbacks. We hitting the tight ends. And, man, I just felt like from that point on that, if I'm going to be taking on guys this size, that I got to get in the weight room. I have to be stronger. I got to get an edge. And what's going to give me that edge? And, like I said, being, physically fit and being strong. And, I thought that I was, I used to always say, even though we had some strong ones on our team, Bryce Hunter, CA, y'all guys, Hassan, I used to feel like, man, I'm always be stronger than those guys that I'm directly across from. I got to be stronger than those guys that I'm coming across the middle. The LBs, you know what I'm saying? And who used to always tell me, don't nothing stop the money train. And I'm sitting there telling them, I said, boy, hey, I'm gonna put that block of C4 on that rail, and I'm gonna derail you, big guy. So those are some of the guys that just made me where I had to get in the weight room in order to sustain those days of even practice.
Man, once again, I appreciate your honesty, man. I tell everybody, man, it's good to have guys from different classes come on so they can help bridge the gap for some of these classes, because a lot of these players that you mentioned, people may not even know or hear. So I appreciate you answering that question, man.
I appreciate you, that.
Ro, my dog, what's up with it? You still in Rest Haven now?
Yeah, you already know that's what you do, boy. My God.
The Rest Haven. Hey, man, what's up? Had you on the show. Glad you showed up today, man. Hey, look here, man. Speaking of Frank Harvey and Short Dog, I remember my freshman year sitting up in the stands. We were running the 200s. Dog, and they all pull up, straining and doing all. They ain't got no feet. I'm like, boy, I got myself into, boy.
Right.
But anyway, all right, man. This is what I ask all the guests, man. We all dogs. We all love the Bulldogs. We all wanted and tried to win a championship for the Bulldogs. We all failed, right? But the Dogs got it done last year, right?
Correct.
Keely Ringo picked that ball off, took it to the end zone, and you knew for sure we was going to win, right?
Right.
Just tell me, where were you and what was your reaction that night?
Man, I was sitting in my living room watching by myself. I couldn't take, watching with anybody else, man, because my nerves was all over the place, I didn't want to go sit down with anybody or anything like that because I wanted to do whatever I need to do at the TV and at the guys and whatever the coverage or whatever the play selection was. And, man, when I saw that, man, I went to screaming. My baby girl went to screaming. And, man, it was just like something that was lifted off me, man, because everybody, kept talking about the Bulldogs of past, and we haven't been able to win since Herschel and all this. And, defending my guys, man, I was just like, man, do you know that we went and we beat up on an Ohio State team in the Citrus Bowl my freshman year when the Garrisonhurst, Andre Hastings, these guys were juniors. And I'm like, man, if those guys stayed in school, and that was one of the things that I kept stressing about, the Bulldogs. I'm like, if we stay in school, man, we're going to build something. But those guys opted out and went to the league, even though we had a Terrell Davis to step in. But Terrell Davis alone was nowhere near a Garrisonhurst and a Terrell Davis. Those are the things that you look at the University of Alabama, and you look at those guys who put player at the same position as the player, in the league and all this and that, because they mainly stayed they stayed and they built something. They built depth. So when it was their time to leave, the next person up, man, didn't miss a beat. So, man, those are the things that, you know, that I look at, man, and I was just like, man, finally we got our just due. So.
Did you share, how many tears did you shed that night? Don't tell the truth.
Man, I'm telling you, bro. I was sitting there. I was overjoyed, man. I'm telling you.
You ain't answer the question though. How many tears you shed,
Hey, man? You know, I'm a little tough, but you know what I'm saying. They don't make them like me no more, man. After they made me, they broke the mold, man. You know what I'm saying? You know that E-Rob.
Yeah,
you know that.
That's what I'm talking about.
You know what I'm saying? They broke the mold, man. They was like, oops. Yeah.
Oh man, hey man, hey, that sounds good, man. I want to take a page from Shaw and E-Rob. Corey, I want to thank you for coming on with the Dogs, man, kicking it with us before the SEC championship game. Of course, man, this is Respect the Hedges. It's all Dogs all the time, so you always welcome to come back on and join the show, man. We definitely appreciate it, man. Anybody else got any closing thoughts before we get up out of here, man? Get ready to go get this second SEC championship under Kirby Smart.
For all those people who don't know, Roro used to be out there knocking folks. I'm trying to think of some an appropriate way to say this, but Roro.
Yeah, exactly. I agree though. Like for that question that Thad usually asks, a lot of times you're gonna hear the name Corey Johnson, and if you ask me, you're gonna get that name a lot because I had to deal with that on the rough end. I thought he loved me when I got there, but it didn't feel like it. So glad to have you, man. You know, we appreciate you.
Never love, bro. You know that.
So before we get out of here, we do got one question. We're gonna end it on this question. So the stat guy say, we all know you went to Forest Park High, and who had the better high school career, you or Hines Ward?
Oh wow, let's go.
Well,
let's go.
Here's what I'm gonna say. If you're talking about football alone, I'll definitely give it to him. You know, at his position because I played, you know, multiple positions. I played offense and defense. I was offensive player of the year in the county 1 year, defensive player of the year in the county the next year. I was all state both years. I also was all state and basketball. So
sound like you're pitching for yourself.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you, a lot of people don't realize what I put down on that hardwood. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't do that. They don't realize what I put down. You know what I'm saying? I was in the top 10 in the state of Georgia coming out of high school in basketball.
Talk your ish. Talk your ish.
Yeah, I was, you know, like I said, if you just say, you know, on the football side of it, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to say, you know, Lil Hine did his thing. You know what I'm saying? But overall,
believe what you want to believe.
Hey, I love it. I love it.
God, man. Hey, I'll definitely be back, man. I appreciate it. I needed it.
Hey, appreciate all the dogs watching, all the dogs in the comment, man. Y'all get down to Megagate 2022, man. $25, all you can eat, all you can drink. Get down.
Subscribe to the channel too, man.
You heard the man. You heard the man. You heard the man. You know what I'm saying? We out here trying to do things. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, for the panel, listen. Are we doing the show next week, fellas, to congratulate our dogs, or we going to hold off for the playoffs?
I'm going to be here regardless. I'm here.
Hey, we week to week, baby.
Oh man, hey, y'all stay tuned on all the social media networks and the Facebook, Twitter, and Tailgate King site, the Fan Addict Sports Network. We will let y'all know when the next live stream is, and we're gonna do it big for the playoffs, man. So for my guy E-Rob, CA, Shouty, JV, our special guest Corey Johnson, and our guy missing in action, the coolest fan in the land, Cool Cal. I'm Coach I. Disrespect the Hedges. Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
Megagate